But I'm gonna be honest with you, like living that lifestyle, it got me sent to prison. You know what I mean? Like I have to be honest. And when I got them 37 months from that judge, I said, well, you done put yourself in the back, like trying to keep up, you know, but at the same time, it was a blessing within that. You know what I mean? Like it was a blessing as far as like me learning so much and just seeing like, okay, I know if I keep doing this what I'm gonna get out of it. And I don't want to be here. Yeah. I'm around.
All right, guys, welcome to another episode of Elevate1 podcast. Super excited to have you guys back. We've got an awesome guest here today, which is going to be an awesome show, and I'm really excited to get the opportunity to talk to him and get a little bit more into his story and talk about some of the more recent things I've seen. I've seen the T. Jones Flips houses starting up, so there's a lot to talk about. But welcoming on T. Jones, man. How you doing today, brother?
What's going on, man? I'm doing real good. I'm glad to be here.
Man, great. Tell us a little quick, synopsis on kind of who you are, what you do.
Yeah, I'm T. Jones. I'm an artist. However, I am an entrepreneur also. I flip homes. I go get fix and flips. I've been doing that about 4 years. I just now got aggressive with it though, like far as just like really hitting the market and like, you know what I mean, trying to find the homes that I know that I can, obviously make profit off of, right?
Yeah.
And now I'm about to get ready to go into like the new builds. So, I just got like an acre of land recently and, I'm just working on that slow, but, just to probably going to GC my own project. Like, instead of like trying to find a contractor and just, paying him to just do so much. I'm gonna try to do this myself. I'm gonna do my best to do it myself this time.
And you're doing all that while balancing, your entire, professional music career.
Right,
so,
right, yeah.
There's a lot of stuff that I'm gonna want to get into as we get throughout the show and talk about. One of those questions I love to ask, and we'll get into it, is when you get people who have a diversified portfolio, especially things that are so far apart, right? To be an artist and then also be in the real estate game. Those don't correspond with each other whatsoever, right?
Sure.
So, and I'll kind of preface it as to what we'll get into later, but man, knowing how you balance your week, knowing how you balance your time, I mean, those are things that I'm super excited for, and I hope everybody sticks around to get to those gold and those gems. But, with every episode, man, I always like to begin with what the beginning is. I think that's important, one, to know who you are, how you tick, how you move, but also, for those viewers and those followers and those people who see you and they're inspired by you, to kind of know that, there was struggle in it, and there was a journey, and there was a process, and there was growth that was necessary. And,
most definitely.
There's a lot of things that I've seen, on social media, and obviously I follow you, and I see a lot of the stuff that you talked about, even on your, your new, real estate Instagram, and you're like, look, man, I didn't start here. I learned this stuff, and I want to share that with you. So that's such an exciting part for me to really, when I meet successful people and guys who have things going, to know, man, how was it from the beginning? And I'd love to start there. I mean, what was the beginning for T. Jones?
The beginning for me, my mom had me. She was like 17. She was young.
What city are we in?
Tyler, Texas. Yeah, I'm from Tyler, Texas. Big East, Texas.
Yeah.
So yeah, my mom, she had me kind of young. So as she was raising me, I had my uncles. I never had my father, but I had my uncles. They were like my father figures. You feel me? One for example was Bubba. Like that's who he like molded me to be a man. Like to kind of help me and show me certain ways like that I needed. What I mean, to survive and to basically be who I am today. And my grandmother played a great part in my life. Like I was always with my grandmother. Like far as mannerism. She showed me how to treat women, you know what I mean? But you know what I'm saying? So, I had a great support system, far as
you had a village.
I had a village, you know. I didn't have my father, but I had a village. So, it's things I wish I did, you know what I mean? Obviously, I wish I did have him, but at the same time,
you gotta adapt.
I still feel like I turned out pretty damn good, to be, how I started. So my uncles, they did music, and I used to always try to come around.
Hold on. Your uncle's doing music in Tyler, Texas, man? They doing music in Tyler, Texas?
They was doing music in Tyler, Texas. So
okay.
I used to try to come around. He was like, come on, T, man. You ain't ready. Like, so I'm like, damn. I used to be like, damn. Like,
he an old school type of cat, huh?
Yeah. So, they were shooting videos. Like, they were really doing it.
Okay.
So I'm just like, man, Then my mom, she had got married. She had got married to a guy, he was always around the music stuff too. So I'm just seeing it, I'm seeing the music. Like, I'm like, man, I want to rap. Like, I really want to do this.
Yeah.
So my Uncle Bubba, he used to just like write my raps. Like, I'm like, what this time I was like 11, 12, something like that. So I was going to this little youth camp doing like little concerts, but off the raps he wrote me. You know what I mean? Yeah. So like I was like, damn.
Were they good raps though?
They was good raps. Like they was good. But obviously, at one time, man, I messed up so bad, but I just freestyled it out. But they thought it was good. Like and I was just like, man. But
wait, was your uncle there when you did that?
No, he wasn't there.
He didn't see
it. No, he didn't see it. But he used to just try to like. At first, he didn't really. He wasn't messing with me with the music, but then he was like, man, you really want to do this?
Well, let me ask you this. He obviously supported you and he was writing raps for you and he let you do your thing and you did it because you saw them and that was something that you were interested in.
Yeah. When
did you really feel like, man, I'm good at this, or I have an opportunity to be good at this? Because there's one thing to be interested in it, I could watch, my family play basketball and be like, oh, I want to play basketball, but that don't mean that I go, oh, I'm good.
I didn't think I was good until college.
Like, long time later. So that whole time, in youth, you was just doing it because it was fun.
Yeah, it was fun, So in college, man, I made this one song. It was called Clientele. And I came out to the city, and I put this guy on the song, Yellow Beezy's friend, like Trap Boy Freddy. I put him on there. And my whole city just went crazy. They was like, man, this is hard. And I was just like, damn, I'm actually, you know what I mean? Like they actually messing with me. So
that love is crazy.
Yeah, so I was just like, man, I'm gonna really take this serious, and it just went from there. And man, like 6-7 years later, like we here, you know what I mean? Yeah, so it's just like, it's a grind though, so I'm thankful for it all. I'm thankful for the journey, that I just like been through, meeting new people, meeting other artists, seeing how they operate, But doing this by myself, man, that's the biggest challenge, you know what I mean? Like actually just having to like build my own team and just, and just keep pushing. You know what I mean?
And there's a lot I want to get into that, right? Because there's a lot of ways to approach any game, right? Any sport, any industry. There's many ways you can do it. You can team up. You can try and disrupt it. You can get it by yourself. And there's a lot of things that I want to get very specific into as to why you took the steps you did and your advice behind that. But before we get to that, I want to get caught up to that point. I mean, obviously growing up, you got fam around you. You got some support. Your uncles are kind of seeing that you're serious about this. They're giving you, a little bit of light on it. When did it register to you? Obviously, we talked about in college is when you saw you were good at it. But when was it that, hey, this is my career path? Was that always part of the plan? Was there a point where you said, you know what, man, I don't want to do this anymore, and I want to do this? I mean, when did T. Jones go, man, this is what I'm going to do?
Basically, I was like 20, 21. I was in Austin, and I saw Kevin Gates was in town, and I was just like, man, I wanna do a song with him. Mm-hmm. They put the number up, and I went in. I did the feature with him, and the song was really good. And like the type of views and the numbers it did, I just said, bro, this is what I'm going to do. Like this is what I'm about to do. And since then, I have not looked back. I never looked back after that. Like
and prior to that, you knew you were good at it and you were interested in it. But that was when it was like, man, this is it.
That's when it got serious for me. Like far as like. I felt like I had fans. Like I felt like people, the people were listening to my music. Like people I don't know. Like people just like, man, just DMing me. I'm like, damn. Like they feel like I'm somebody. So I'm gonna take this serious, Yeah. And then I seen a little money from it, so I was like, like this is what they do. Like they pay you. Like
they get easy to work when the money starts showing up.
It's just like, damn. Like this is a real thing. Like so I'm just like, damn. Okay, you know what I mean? Like I'm gonna take this serious. And man, throughout times, of course, like when everything is not going perfect, sometimes you feel like this might not be for you, or you wonder, like, like, damn, maybe, like, am I sure? Like, am I doing the right thing? But like, we can get into that too. But you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
of course.
But that was the time when I said, yeah, I'm gonna do this.
So you went to high school in Tyler, right?
Yeah, John Tyler.
And then college. Where did you go to college?
I went to TJC.
And then what were you going to college for?
Okay, so I started off in business administration.
Okay.
I'm gonna be honest with you, man. School, I felt like school might not. I'm not gonna say it might not been for me. I was so distracted by doing other things to get money.
Yeah.
And doing what I do or
the
whatever.
Hustle, that grind.
I was hustling. I'm gonna be honest with you, and I had got so distracted to the point where I'm like, all right, I gotta stop hustling for at least a little bit. Like, I got money to pay my bills. because I moved out of my mom's, when I graduated high school. So at that point in time, I was just like, all right, man, your first semester was good. The second semester, you slacking. Yeah. You got to chill. Like, you have to focus on school. So, I had failed one year, man. So I was just like, nah, man, I can't go out like that. Because I started something, I got to finish.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So next semester, man, I chilled out for a little bit. I passed or whatever. And, I ended up graduating college also. So, I'm thankful for that.
But you went to school for business administration. You graduated with that too?
I didn't graduate with business administration. I'm sorry. I had ended up changing my major. I'm like, I'm just going to do general studies because this business administration, bro,
it's too much.
Kicking my ass. Trying to manage all this, the music, going to LA to record. Like, it was a lot, for me. So I was like, man, I'm going to finish with something.
Yeah, you just need to get it done.
I'm just going to get it done. My mom, she was on me too.
So at that time in college, you're starting to shift your eggs and you're like, look, man, what I initially thought I was going to college for is no longer it. I'm seeing some traction in the stuff I've got going on. I'm hustling and making money, but music is kind of a passion for me. So you kind of shifted your college to match the music game and what you could do in the music game.
Most definitely.
You're betting on that, though. And I don't know at that time if you recognize it, but in hindsight, you recognize you bet your entire future on that.
I know I wanted more, and I know I wanted to do music. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I know that's the life I wanted. You know what I mean? Of course, I always had the real estate mindset. I just didn't know how to get there. Like, I used to have, conversations with my friends like, hey, man, and this is just me just talking to them like, man, we got to get our credit right, man. We need to go all get like 250. Everybody get like 250. Like it was just that easy, right? I'm like, all four of us, bro, we're going to get $1 million. We're going to have $1 million.
Yeah. And we're going to go buy this high rise. Yeah.
And we're going to go buy this. We're going to go invest in it. I used to just sit around. I still got the same friends.
Yeah.
But I used to just sit around them and just be saying that we 20 years old.
Don't know how to do none of that.
We don't know how to do none of it.
You just hear the stuff. They be like, man, go get a LLC and go take out $250 from Chase and then open another LLC at 2 a.m. in the morning.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah, I know what you're saying.
So I was telling them that's what we're gonna do, man. And we're just dreaming, but at the same time, we were really I'm actually really doing music, but at the same time, I like doing other things. You know what I mean? And I want to go legit. I want to go all the way legit. That's what I was. I had that mindset. Like, I really want to go legit one day. Like, far as having just a music career and being an entrepreneur, just doing real estate and doing more ventures.
But that's what I want to know, right? Because there's and to give you a little insight, I grew up in inner city Houston. You know what I mean? I grew up in not in this. I grew up in the hood. I didn't know my father. My grandmother, raised me in a very similar situation. So it's very equivalent. But the thing is, I have so many friends that were in some of these schools that I went to that weren't the best, and they knew they weren't doing good. And everybody has that goal of, man, I want to get right. I want to do things right. I want to get a driver's license. I want to be by the book.
Right.
But man, it's a tough life to get out because it's a never ending quicksand pool, right?
Most definitely.
So what I want to know is, I think everybody has that hope and that dream to get legit and do things the right way. But I've seen people waste their whole life not being able to get out of it. Right. How is it that you knew that you wanted out, and how are you able to really navigate putting yourself in a position to get legit? Because it's easy to come on a mic and be like, man, I knew I wanted to get legit and I did it. But there's a lot of cats out there that they want that and they're struggling.
Yeah, and that happened to me for a lot of years. Doing music, being around other artists who was really making money from this, and being around successful artists. Like, man, I want to be like y'all, like one day. Not telling them that, but I'm like, man, I really want to be here one day. So it took me years, man. I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I didn't stop. I didn't stop doing what I was doing, obviously, to be able to keep up that image, to keep up, to be able to do these features and to be on these different platforms.
Because it's not cheap.
It's not cheap.
Yeah.
So, but I'm gonna be honest with you, living that lifestyle, it got me sent to prison. You know what I mean? I have to be honest. And when I got them 37 months from that judge, I said, well, you done put yourself in the back, trying to keep up, but at the same time, it was a blessing within that. You know what I mean? It was a blessing as far as me learning so much and just seeing okay, I know if I keep doing this is what I'm gonna get out of it. And I don't want to be here.
Yeah.
I'm around people, man, they finna spend like damn near the rest of their
The rest
life.
of
They're
their
gonna
life.
be 40s and 50s when they get out.
Yeah.
Dudes my age, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
yeah.
they having a long time, like
That's a reality check.
Yeah, it was a real reality check, and they looking at me like, oh man, you ain't got no time. You know what I mean? They feeling, and I'm thankful at this time. You know, like bro, I'm so glad I'm going home. You know, so that was my wake up, man, to just say, I want different in life, man. I got to get out here and I got to figure it out. I got to figure out how to not be doing that, like, but I want to still be able to make that type of income to be able to live the life I want to live.
Yeah.
And real estate was really the only thing that I seen, you know what I mean? So that I could figure out on my own. Far as just, you know, I didn't have a lot of investor friends or, you know, crypto friends, you know what I mean? So I wish, you know what I mean? But real estate was something I knew I could do to be able to obtain that.
But how did you know that? I mean, because here's the thing: there's a million industries, and there's a ton of them that we all know right now make a ton of money. You know, in your story and in your life, how did you know that real estate was an option? How did you know that? Did you have someone that you had seen that had success in it?
It was a guy I knew. His name was DeMarcus. He actually manages this artist, but he wasn't at the time. He was letting me know how much he was making from real estate. It was like, oh man, I just made like $5,400 off this just one house, and you know, he was just talking about these numbers.
Just
and I'm like, $5,400. I'm like, damn, that's good. You know, at this time, I'm like, bro, that's really good.
And
like,
it's legit.
Off one house, So I'm like, it's legit. So I'm like, man, he's showing me these houses. And he was like, T, I got this house over here. They want $5,000 for it. I'm like, $5,000 for a house? Are you serious? You know what I mean? So,
yeah.
And this was before I had, you know, went away for a little bit. And I bought that house for $5,000. I was like,
is it a real house?
A real house. I'll show it to you. And so, you know, it was just mind blowing. I'm like, damn, I feel different. Like, this is what I want to do. This is obviously my friends were already in trouble at this time, so I knew it was about to come back to me. But it's like I found something that I love, like in a storm.
Yeah.
And I said, wow, whenever I have to go through this and I get back out, this is what I'm going to put my focus on.
What I'm thinking is if you, and that's a dope saying, right? Because if you knew, hey, this is an avenue that I'm going to be able to take, and you could kind of feel that wall's about to come down, but you almost get to go into it and you're like, man, I can't wait to get out of here.
Man, that's
and
how
it gives
you
that light at the end of the tunnel.
That's how it was, brother.
I mean, it turns that time from, you know, a terrible sentence to a pause. I'll be back. You know what I mean? Just hang tight. I'll be back. And it changes your entire dynamic on that waiting period, you know?
Man, I had something to look forward to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So at this time, I'm renting that house out. You know, I had to fix it up, obviously, but I'm renting that house out through the time period. But I'm just like, man, you know, I got something to come back to. And that, you know, it kept me positive, you know, as much as possible. It kept me like, you know, when you got something to look forward to, when you got something coming, that's what they say. When you got something coming, it's just like, man, that's a positive. And, you know, I was very, very thankful for that. So that's what woke me up and say, hey, well, you can do this.
Yeah.
You know, like.
So do you feel like, you know, not just the understanding of kind of how you wanted to play things, but I mean your mental skills, your emotional ability to connect, your determination. Do you feel like you were a completely different person, or are you just a more improved person when, you know, before and after?
I just feel like I'm improved. I feel like I'm the same person, like far as just, you know, like my morals and, you know, loyalty. I still feel like I'm still a good friend, however, but definitely more improved when it comes to just, you know, I'm not easily influenced.
Yeah.
I'm not easily, unless it's some positive, unless it's something good, and I see you doing something good. I'm like, yeah, you go, and that influenced me. But negative things, it don't influence me. Like, just because I see somebody making money over here and it looks good, that don't influence me no more. And I used to be influenced, but I think that was just a factor as a kid, seeing certain things, and I got influenced. But, you know, like, that's the way I was moving.
Yeah.
But when I went through that situation, a lot changed for me. Like, it was like, nah, like, if I see you, you know, investing in something, and like that's gonna influence me, like that's gonna make me say, man, I want to do that. Like,
but it made you more selective. It made you pay more attention.
Very selective, man. And you know, all I can do now, I try to talk when it matters. You know what I mean? I'll try not to talk too much, but if it matters, like, and I know I can help somebody, I'm gonna help them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Especially if they, you know, if they want the help, if they receptive.
So what about, you know, your friends that you had at those ages, and some of those guys that you may have been, you know, tight with before? You know, you still with those guys? You still rock with them?
Yeah.
Did you have to part some ways? Were there some tough relationships you had to cut off?
Yeah, you know, it used to be like a group of friends, right? Like 8-10 of us type, you know. But now I still, talk to about 3 or 4 of them. A lot of people, man, a lot of people go different routes in life, and you can't save everybody, and you can't bring everybody with you. And, that's just, and some people, they just want to go do their own thing. And, like some people want to be like, they want to do their own thing, and you got to respect that. So.
Yeah, I mean that's facts. I mean, and the unfortunate part is, man, especially when you kind of struggled with guys, you have this like untold desire to save everybody, especially when you're the one who really makes that change, and everybody notices it, and you almost feel compelled to be like, man, let me go get these guys. But I've had to learn the hard way, and you probably have too, that man, some of these guys don't want to come as bad as they think they do.
They don't. They like to be around. They like to just, they like to enjoy the good times, but a lot of people, they don't want to put that grind in, like they don't want to help, like they don't want to put the pieces together, everybody just want to enjoy the fruits, what I'm saying, like from the labor, but they don't want to put in the work.
Man, I was talking to a good friend of mine, and I said straight up, a lot of guys want to be in the locker room when the champagne gets there, but they don't want to dive on the floor when the ball gets, dropped.
That's true.
And that's tough, because at the end of the day, it's real easy to celebrate. But what we're not taking into account is that celebration comes from the hard work that got us to this place we're at to celebrate.
Right.
And that's a tough realization, especially as you mature and especially as you're getting in. And here's the more important thing, and this is kind of what I've looked at in my life, and it sounds like you're probably grasping. You also got to take real serious when you feel like you're getting in stride of your prime. If you start to feel like I am close to or almost in, or I can start to feel myself ascending to what is going to be the prime of my, and not as you get older, you're always going to get smarter. And we're always going to be able to make money easier as we get older. But when I talk about like myself now, and it may be similar for you, how many years do I have left that I can put this many hours in a day?
Man, for real.
How many years do I have left where, I can do 5, 6, 7 things that are completely different in a day and have that mental capacity? How many years do I have the physical strength, to fly across the country, on a dime and get off the plane and go to a meeting without jet lag, and that's why I say when you start to feel like you're kind of ascending into that prime, man, if you don't take that serious, it's going to be a lot harder to cut off some of the dead weight. It's going to be a lot harder to make some of those sacrifices, to make some of those tough decisions, because as you said before, man, you can't save everybody and you definitely can't take everybody with you.
No, for sure. So, I'm glad you said that, man. Like, man, that let me know, like, you gotta maximize it, like, and you gotta max it out when you do feel like you in your prime, and I like that.
Because it's, I mean, and I look at it from a long-term perspective, right? Like, and everybody who knows me knows, I'm a huge LeBron fan. LeBron has been somebody that, growing up without a father and not really knowing how I was supposed to become a man. There are guys that I've tried to emulate. There are people that I've looked at and their success and how they carry themselves and how they conduct interviews and how they answer certain questions. And I've gone, okay, I'm going to take some pieces of that and I'm going to Frankenstein who I want to be as an adult. And LeBron was one of those guys, man. And that's why, people look at me and they're like, man, you're such a LeBron fan. But it's like, you don't understand. That man has given me a lot of things that I was lacking, not having a father figure, not having an adult male in my life. And, one of those things that I recognized in his career, and everybody gives him so much flack because of the Miami decision, right? That move out of Cleveland. It's like, I think that man really understood that in the long-term thing, he wanted to be a great. And I think he came into the league wanting to be, when he was all said and done, wanting to be the greatest of all time. And he had to recognize, man, this is about to be my prime athleticism. And I have to put myself in a position where I can go compete for some rings. And that is tough because, I mean, if you look at his story in itself, the man, somehow, remember the NBA is a lottery, and somehow his hometown got the first overall pick.
Man.
Picks the kid from Cleveland. And he had to make a tough decision to be like, look, I don't think I'm in a position to win here.
Right.
And winning to me right now for my greater legacy matters most. And I gotta recognize I'm in my prime athleticism. I got to go chase some rings.
And sometimes, as a man, like, we have to make decisions that not everybody's gonna agree with, but you got to do what's best for you at the end of the day. Like, that's how I live too. Like, I'm gonna do what's best for me. Like, hey, don't put expectations on certain things if you're not, that's not your life. Like, you got to let people do what they want to do. Like,
and that's a tough lesson, right? Because I think, and I think one of the tougher lessons that I learned in my maturity, I used to want to be a people pleaser, You know, especially the guys who I wanted to root for me and I expected to root for me, and it'd be like, man, this guy doesn't like this about me and I need to change that. And there was just a point where I had to recognize in my life, man, when we get to the end of this game called life, when we get to the end of it, you're not going to be able to go, man, I played it his way. I should have played it my way and get to rewind.
Right.
You know, at the end of life, you got to be able to stand up and say, man, I did it my way. And right or wrong, that's the way I wanted to do it. You know, because I think the greatest regret is you get to the end and you go, man, I'm not coming back here. And you have to face however long that realization of your mortality is. You know, hopefully it's when we're 100 and we're getting old and we're in a hospital bed and we know it's the end of our time and we get a week or 2 weeks or a month. But it may be 10 seconds laying out in the street in a car accident before, you know. But I believe every human being is going to have that moment, that realization of their mortality. If you jumped off this balcony, you're going to have 3 seconds to think about this is the end, right? And I think your whole life is going to flash across. And my greatest regret is when that moment comes, when that flash comes, wherever and whenever it may be, I don't want to be like, why the fuck did I play the game his way? You know, why didn't I do it why didn't I just do the things I wanted to do? And that's the thing I just want humans to kind of catch is like, man, we're not coming back here. No. We're not coming back here. And if you just do everything that Karen told you were supposed to do or your mom told you were supposed to do, and this is success and this is how you're supposed to live life. Yeah. When that realization comes, you're truly going to be okay? You're going to be satisfied?
No, you got to do it your way because I'm going to do it my way because, like, you know, it be things like this when it come to dating. Like, I could be about to go to the studio, like, oh, you got to go to the studio again? Yeah, because guess what? That's what's going to get me to where I'm trying to go. Yeah. If you dating me, like, I just feel like, come with me. If I'm about to go shoot a video and you want to lay up, come with me. You got to come. You got to evolve with me. That's how I look at everything. Like, you know, I'm evolving. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to stay stagnant just because, you know, that's what you want for me. Yeah. I want a lot for me. Like, you know what I mean? The mansion and the cars, it's not going, you know, I can't get it if I'm not working.
And you ain't going to just wake up and it just got parked out there for no reason.
Yeah, and that's, you know, so, you know, I deal with that a lot, like, you know, doing what I do, you know what I mean? So, and, you know, in the music industry and just, you know, with the investing and just everything, like with the real estate, I'm always moving. So I just feel like, you know, like, in those areas, like, it just be like, you know, some people, they don't understand it. And so it's just like, if you're not trying to evolve with me, it's just, you know, I got to do this my way. So, You know what I mean? Like, you got to evolve with me.
Let me ask you this, you know, because I know with a lot of entertainers, you know, a lot of them say that it's easiest and it's best for them to connect and date with people that are also in the industry because they understand the things that they go through. A lot of athletes date other athletes. You know, a lot of professional sports players date and marry other professional sports players, right? You know, everybody knows, you know, Kelsey Plum and Darren Waller and their amazing, you know, marriage, and it's because they understand what they have to go through. They understand what it's like that one day you may wake up and you got traded across the country, you know, and you're able to relate and kind of understand each other. You know, what do you think about the music industry? You think it's easy to, you know, would you see that, you know, other artists as easier to date or harder?
Me personally, for me,
yeah,
I don't want to date a woman who's doing music.
Why not?
I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't like. I just feel like I don't want to date a super popular chick. Like, it's too much. Like, it's already hard these days. Like, your woman, she bad. It's gonna be 1,000 people on her DM.
On Instagram. Yeah,
man, don't let her be famous.
Yeah,
like it's gonna be 100 million.
It's pressure,
and it's just, you know, like. And I ain't saying I can't take the pressure, but what I'm saying is, man,
it's a lot of distraction.
It's a lot, man. You know, she got to be in a studio with different men. It's different situations. She got to put herself in. And, you know, I feel like it can get kind of exhausting. Like, far as, you know, she got to keep putting herself in these situations. Like, you know what I mean? She have to. This is her career.
It's her job. It's what it takes to win.
It's her job. Yeah. So I really don't care about it. If it happens, cool. You know, it just happened. You know what I mean? But me personally, you know, I would just rather just, you know.
Something more low-key.
Something more low-key, you know, a nurse or something like that. I'm cool with that. You know, or however it go, but, you know.
Hey, for the nurses out there, man, y'all better hit his DMs up.
No, for real.
Now, so talk to me. So the music industry, you know, obviously you this was a passion of yours. You started to take it serious. You talked about, you know, the opportunity you got with Kevin Gates and when that really recognized you that, hey, you got a shot here. Now talk to me about how that works, right? Now you're an artist. You know you've got a talent. You know you've got a passion. You know you got a little bit of momentum. What do you do? Where do you go from there? Let's say, you know, I was in that same situation. I'm like, man, I'm I think I've got some skills. I think I'm good at this. I think I can do this. What's next? What do you have to do?
The first few years of my music career, I didn't do it my way, and that's where I messed up. You know, like I had a lot of people trying to pull me here and here. Hey, you should do this. Hey, you should do this. You know,
were they people who knew what they were doing, or were they just people?
People who seemed like they knew what they were doing because they have helped certain people.
Yeah.
But also, it was people with like with not good intentions that was really just trying to make a quick dollar.
Look out for themselves.
They were trying to look out for themselves. And I feel like me being kind of still a kid, like not really knowing like how to do it. Like I was a young man. So me not really knowing the music industry at this, you know, I got played a little bit, you know, in my first few years of it. And, you know, I was like, nah, this is not how this is going to go. I'm about to do my research. I'm about to learn the game, you know, because
something must have happened for you. I mean, what was the straw that broke the camel's back?
Okay, basically, I paid for like certain services, like, you know, like when it comes to like media things, and it didn't get done. You know what I mean? Like, and I was like this dude trying to get over on me. He playing, like he trying to play on me, like, you know. So, and you know, I just don't play about. I don't like bad business, and I don't play about my money.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
yeah.
So, especially when I'm doing something legit, like this is legit. This is my music. This is music.
I finally got everything right and up and up, and now you playing with me, man.
Yeah, so that was the last straw. I said, you know what? I'm about to go out here and figure this out on my own. And you know, now it's like if I'm gonna give you money, it's more so like I'm gonna get an attorney. Like you got to sign this paper right here. 'Cause like we got to do this the legal way. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
we need a contract.
So I went through so much of that, man. You know, like dealing with just people who are not holding up their end of the bargain, and it just kind of got, you know, it got exhausting.
It wears you down.
Yeah, like
so you had to figure out that you had to do it a different way because things were just going poorly.
Yeah, it was going
not
poorly.
that somebody said, "Hey, here's the blueprint of the game plan." You just suffered enough to go, man. I see what I need to fix now.
Most definitely. And that was like for 2 years. It was just up and down. I'm like, damn, I thought this was supposed to be it. You know, it took me time. Like I had to fall back for like 6 months to really just breathe and just say, all right, you know, I'm going to come back and I'm going to have it together.
Have a plan, yeah. So you had to kind of take a step away.
I did, man, you know, and I didn't like it, but I had to, you know, for my mental health. You know what I'm saying? Like that's way more important.
Of course.
And that's at a low level, so I can only imagine what Taylor Swift
like,
goes
what it's like at the top. Yeah, for sure.
So yeah, I'm just like, man, I see it, you know. But you know, it's all a blessing in disguise, man. Even when you run across certain people, because now you know, like when you find good people, when you meet good people, those the people you take care of and you make sure, like you do right by them, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, man. And after that, you know, things started to, you know, get on a higher for me. Like I just wasn't making the same mistakes anymore. Like, you know what I mean? Like now everything is on paper. Everything is paperwork. You know what I mean? Like, and just being in control of my own everything.
Yeah.
You know, like
that's see, at this point, we're talking logistics, right? We're talking about, you know, the X's and O's and the T's and I's getting crossed and dotted. You know, talk to me about what those steps really look like in terms of the music industry. I mean, you're just now starting to get on your own. How do you grow? How do you start getting on stages? How do you start, you know, getting on tours? I mean, what are those nuances that you have to really apply some pressure into to kind of get to that next step?
Yeah, so at the time, you know, it was just me and my cousin, Greg. You know, he like, man, you know what? I'm about to help you. I said, you know what? You're going to be my manager.
What was Greg doing before?
Greg was in college at SNU. He was in college. He went to a Christian college. But don't get me wrong. Greg has been beside me the whole time with this music. He used to record me and everything.
Yeah.
So I'm like, man, you the only person I got. Like,
yeah.
Greg been by my side since 8th grade, like trying to, you know, do music. So I'm like, bro, I need you. You know what
Greg's
I mean?
older or younger?
Greg, same age. We the same age.
Oh, that's dope.
We graduated with each other like in high school.
So Greg was like, I got you. We about to do this. So to this day, he's still here. So it's just like, man, we just started, you know, hitting up certain people like, hey, you know, my artist would like to get on this show. And, you know, so y'all cold hitting people up.
cold. Yeah,
See, and here's the thing. This is what I also want to preface, right? And this is because, you know, as we get into these more intricate questions, I like to preface this, especially with people who have skills, right? Here's the thing. This is the first thing you got to understand for you to get where I'm about to come from. You're a natural hustler. Okay, you had that well before you got in the music industry. That's in your DNA. You've been a hustler probably your whole life.
Right.
If you were 6 and I handed you a box of chocolates, you're gonna sell them.
I sold candy as a kid.
It's in you. You know what I mean? And I have to sometimes remind people, because it's in me. I'm a hustler. I'm a hustler by nature. I'm a dog. Sometimes you got to remind people the things that come natural to us that we don't even have to think about. Other people don't. You know, it's harder for them to get it. And a lot of times, if I went up to 7-year-old T Jones and hands you a box of candy that looked like they were $1 each, I don't have to give you instructions. I could just hand it to you and walk off.
Right.
And then I could come back 3 days later, like, how many of you sold? And you would have sold them. There's other people in life who really do want to get there, but if you hand them that box and walk off, they're going to set it down. And then 3 days later, you come back and say, how many you sell? And they're like, sell? What do you mean sell? So I always have to remind people as I get into these questions, you got to remember that the things that come natural to you, they may not come natural to others. So you got to kind of register that, hey, oh, I did do that. I did think about that, because those are those questions that I remember, I'm not in the music industry. Maybe I one day want to get into it, right? So I want to know these things, you know what I mean? So when you say, hey, we're cold hitting people up, that probably came natural, and that's no big deal. I can cold call anybody. Give me some numbers, you know what I mean? If it's an opportunity for me to get my foot in the door, bro, I'll cold mail them. I'll show them at their front door. I don't care. But a lot of people, that ain't easy. They're discouraged, There's a lot of people who, and there's a saying me and my buddies use. There's a lot of people in life that are those guys in the corner of the club that sees the girl that they're interested in and are too afraid to go ask her out. So they go, damn, she bad, bro. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of those cats.
They sit on the wall all
and
night.
we not like that. I know we not like that. If I see a chick I want, I'm, hey, what's up, baby?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So when you answer some of these questions, you got to remember some of these cats are sit on the wall cats. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So y'all cold messaging people.
Yeah, we had to. And, Sean Cotton, he got us on this show. We opened up for Chief Keef. And I was like, man, like, you know what I mean? Like,
That's sick.
Yeah, man, it was dope, man. I was just like, damn.
Where was it at?
It was at the Gas Monkey.
How did you get in there? How did you get that opportunity?
Oh, well, so we had.
So you skipping stuff, man. See, how I'm gonna make it? How I'm gonna make it if you don't give me the blueprint?
So me and Greg, we DM'd Sean Cotton. So Sean Cotton was like, all right. He was like, give me like $400 or $500. I forgot the exact amount. He was like, give me like $400 or $500. Y'all can perform. And I was like, damn. At this time, Sean Cotton was just coming up also. Yeah. So,
but for you and your cousin, that gotta feel like a huge win,
man. It was so crazy. I brought my friends out and everything. Like, we was like, man, we finna open up for Chief Keef.
That's sick, yeah.
Like, so we drove from Tyler to Gas Monkey. And, man, I had that show, and it was like it was a big crowd, but only like 3 or 4 girls was vibing with me. Man, they turned into like forever fans after that. Yeah. They was on my Twitter posting me and all this. So I'm like, man. So then I had seen those girls like after a while. They ended up going to college and stuff like at UNT. But they just like used to always just rep me. And man, like those 3 to 4 girls, they let me know I can do this. Yeah. Like they gave me that inspiration and like that hope to just keep going and just keep like, they like, man, I'm like, one day, bro, it's going to be thousands of people vibing with me like that.
Because I still want to get into some of the specifics, but I do want to take a pause to go into that, which also circles back to what we talked about earlier, which is I think when you pursue anything great and you pursue anything that's challenging, you can be as confident and you can be as cocky and you can be as sure that you're going to make it, but doubt is going to creep in.
Most definitely.
It's a part of the process. It's a part of the journey because you're trying to do something you've never done before, and your mind will make you question yourself. And I think you kind of mentioned that those girls gave you that validation.
Man, they did.
It was that moment of like, man, I can do this. And how important is that? And did you recognize that at that time?
Man, it was real important. That made me go make more songs. That made me be able to tell my mama, like, hey, man, like, I'm at this concert and like these girls, like they was feeling it, and she didn't really see my vision at the time, like because they probably thought I was just doing something, like you know what I mean, like so, man, it gave me so much validation to just like keep pushing and just like, man, maybe I should do more shows, and every show didn't go like that, right?
Yeah, of course.
But it was just like, man, I remember them girls, and to this day, man, like that's why I do it, now I do music to just touch people, far as like, to give my story. Now I have a bigger motivation now, and I have a bigger reason. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, the purpose of why you make music is different.
And so like, that's how I heal. Like when I get on stage and I just get to talking about my problems, and I'm like, I know you got a problem too. Yeah. You know what I mean? But I'm with you. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But I'm with you. You know what I mean? I'm rocking with you. Yeah. So, some people, man, they love that. You know what I mean? And I get a lot of things from bigger artists, people who have already made it. You know what I mean? Like what Nipsey say, he like, I steal it. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
You know, like I take it from other people. Like, you know what I mean? I just take from the great.
Yeah.
The greats, you know what I
You
mean?
have to. I mean, J. Cole even talks about it, how you had to emulate the greats. I mean, because at the end of the day, you're trying to put your passion into fruition. And then you're also trying to find your identity within that passion and how you're going to do things and what your impact is going to be on others. And let's be honest. I mean, you could pick any industry in the world, music included. Not everybody's out to make an impact. Some people are out to make $1. And there's nothing wrong with making $1. It's, if you devote your life into something and you practice and you work for it and you're good at it and you have skills in it and you pay the dues, you deserve to make money off of it because you've devoted your life to this. You should be able to reap what you sow. But you see people who have no interest in touching people and connecting with people. In music, more than most industries on the planet, the only reason music exists is to invoke emotion. If there was if human beings did not have emotion, we wouldn't listen to music. What would we listen to music for?
Right.
We do it because it gives us something. We feel good about it. It gives us a vibe. It gives us an energy. And those girls who obviously resonated with you at that concert, it invoked an emotion for them that they enjoyed. And that's why music is touching. And that's exactly why it's dope that's the way you see it.
Right. And to touch on what you said, you know, like during the beginning times of you know, doing my music, I was looking for an identity. I'm like what type of music am I gonna make? Like, what am I really trying to put out there? Like, what do I really want these people to know about me? Like, and so it was just like I really didn't know how to like map that and piece it together. So I'm gonna be honest with you. 2023 is when I found out who T Jones really like who am I like really? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like now I know who T Jones is. Like 2023, I know what type of music I want to make. I know what I want to put out there to the people. Like, I really want to give them me. And so, like, I just now figured that out in 2023. And I was doing music that long.
Yeah.
Because I feel like a lot of artists just do music. And I see it so much. And it's just like, they just put vibes out there. You know what I mean? People don't really know that artist. I really want to be able to connect with somebody when I'm on that stage. I want people to be listening to my music in the car. Like, man, damn, I feel something like when I listen to this.
And I can relate to it.
And I can relate to them. So it's just like, that's where I am now. But it took so long.
Yeah.
And I'm thankful.
Yeah.
But I'm saying it took me time.
But that's a part of the process, right? And it's different for everybody. I mean, if you do anything, it's going to take time before you really recognize how you're going to approach this and what your role is going to be in this, because at the end of the day, you're just trying to be successful. If you do anything new, you're just trying to be successful. You're just trying to get some wins, right? So that way you can prove to yourself and you can prove to everybody that, hey, I belong here. And it's really difficult to just focus on wins and proving you belong here while still simultaneously finding how you're going to approach the game. I mean, those things take time, you know. So it's dope that you recognize that, and it's also super exciting and awesome to hear that you have had that where you're like, man, this is my identity. Because man, that's freeing, bro. It's so freeing to now know, like, this is my identity. This is what I'm going to do. This is my role. This is my task. And the people who really rock with you and the people that you connect with in that, bro, they're gonna have so much loyalty because you're gonna touch them in a way that is so different when you really know what your purpose and identity is within the game. You know what I'm saying? I do want to get back to kind of some of those initial questions of, what other steps did you take to get? Because obviously we're starting to catch up to kind of where your current endeavor is, and I've got a lot of questions about projects that you got going on and different artists that you've worked with. But I want to be able to shed some light and some insight to other people who may be in the industry or wanting to be in the industry. Cold messaging people is such a task that it's work, and obviously you had some success from it. I mean, how long do you guys still do that? Did you continue to do? I mean, obviously now you have a reputation, but at that time, how many messages are you sending? How many did it take to get a response?
We'll still do it if we're trying to get somewhere. Like if we need something that we don't have, like far as, man, if we want to get on a certain person tour, like, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, we going to keep messaging who we need to message, But
what other things did you guys do? What other things did it take?
Yeah, so when it comes to that, like, we would contact different labels. We would just hit their DMs. We would even go on most of the business people are on there, like in the corporate world. It's this website, LinkedIn. We would go on LinkedIn to get their emails, and just like we would create LinkedIn accounts and just hit people up.
And y'all have like a template y'all made, or y'all just freestyling it every time?
We would get the template
and then copy and
paste and just send it
and
out.
Blast it out.
Yeah, but that works.
You have to.
And sometimes you will get seen. Like we had, man, it was certain labels like, you know what? We're gonna look at y'all. Like, you know what I mean? I'm like, damn, if we wouldn't have done that, we wouldn't be here. Like, we wouldn't stay pushing and motivated. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like, cause just that one call sometime be like, hey, we watching y'all. You know, like
they give you that vigor.
It let you know, like, hey, you almost there.
It's getting there. It's
you're
working.
almost there.
Yeah.
But what kept me going after I did the feature with Kevin Gates, me and his brother Mazi, I'm not sure if you know, but he took a liking to me that day, man, and he was like, you know, I ended up flying to Atlanta, and I took my friends or whatever. No, we drove to Atlanta after the first time. Man, we just started hanging out. You know, he had us in the studio and all of this, like, and he just doing it just off of me being there with Gates that time.
Yeah.
And man, I just started meeting so many more people just off that. So I'm like, bro, this how this go, like, you know. But within that time, man, Mozzie ended up losing his life. Like, he ended up getting killed. And I'm gonna be real with you, man. I kind of fell back from like being around people like other artists, and it kind of was draining for me. And I know when you're a rapper, you have to be around other artists.
Yeah.
So for about a year, I really wasn't around artists, and it kind of
shot the momentum.
Yeah, because the more you around other artists and y'all are all pushing,
conversations happen, doors open up, opportunities
doors are opening.
Yeah.
So I just, man, I had to, I had to say, all right, I'm gonna lock back in. I'm gonna start being around more artists, and you have to put yourself on that platform. You just have to.
Yeah. And honestly, man, I'm glad you said that, because that's any industry, bro. I mean, networking. And not networking in the sense of what it sounds like, oh, you got to go to this wine mixer, but networking in terms of just being around other people who do what you do, or being around other people that are where you're trying to go. Man, I've said this so many times. A lot of the opportunities that I now have, and the people and resources that I now have, and the ability to diversify that I've created over the last few years, this shit had nothing to do with business. It was just being out. And I've said this, and you got to hear me when I say it. It's being out and being impressive. And impressive is not that you're the smartest guy in the room, or that you're dressed well, you're best looking. It's just being somebody that when you leave, people go, man, who was it? I like that dude.
Yeah,
like that dude was smooth. We need to invite that dude to this or to that or to this or to that, because that right there, just leaving an impression on people, man, it opens more doors sometimes than the actual success that you've created in your channel has. I went to a good friend of mine, Trey Caldwell, played in the NFL, played for the Browns. He's a good friend of mine. We go to a lot of different events. He's still on that uphill climb to find his identity post-football. And we go to a lot of things all the time. We're always trying to network. And we went to an event yesterday he invited me to. It was a wine tasting. And we were 20 minutes into a conversation, with one of his friends who is like a connector for professional athletes, and bringing them into, sports agencies and shoe deals and all that stuff like that. And we're having a conversation, and he was talking about a conference or a summit that he's throwing later in the year, and he's kind of, Nike's coming out, Drewski's going to be a part of it, Desi Banks is going to be a part of it, and I'm kind of listening to this, and these are big names, right? And I'm also kind of sitting there, kind of starstruck, like, man, that's dope, And he's like, I want you to be a part of it, And I kind of was like, who he talking to, And he was talking to me, and I said, hey, I kind of went up and I said, hey, look, man, I'm whatever you need, I can do what you can. I was like, Trey can vouch for me. He said, I don't need Trey to vouch. I'm talking to you right now. I hear you, and I like what I hear. And it was one of those kind of full circle moments, kind of the conversation that we're on, where it was like, I remember I got in the car and I was like, damn, I'm so glad I came to this. And one of my buddies, Jaron, we grabbed dinner last night, and I told him, hey, I got to go because I got to go to this event. He texted me, said, how'd the event go? And I said, bro, I met somebody that just opened another door for me.
That's what's up, bro.
And networking is exactly that, and it's just like what you talked about. It's just being somewhere and being impressive and leaving an imprint on people where they're like, I want that guy around. I want that guy to come to lunch tomorrow. I want that guy to come to have a drink with us next week. Because that right there, at the end of the day, when you get to the tops of anything, the pinnacle of anything, you start to realize that these guys just want to hang out with people they rock with, that they stand by, that they believe in. And they'll take risk on you for it,
Most definitely.
So it's dope that you said that, and I'm glad that we got into that, because that can go in any and all aspects of life, in any and all industries. And obviously it's best that you hang around people that do what you do. So as a rapper, you're right. You got to be around other rappers, because that creates motion, that creates momentum, that creates a buzz, that creates hype. And that brings me kind of to my next question. I mean, who are some of the artists that, you have worked with, that you want to work with? Who are some of those bucket list dream artists you want to be, do some stuff with?
Well, when it comes to artists that I have worked with, like when it comes to biggest, obviously, Kevin Gates, he's one of the biggest artists I've worked with. Rich the Kid, he's one of them. And obviously, like for Texas, D-Baby and Big X the Plug. But dream artist-wise, I really want to get a song with Chris Brown, man. Like, you know, I feel like that'd be a real dope song. And I definitely feel like that'll be like, you know what I'm saying, like a dream come true for me. Like I always wanted to get a record with him, you know what I mean? So Chris Brown and Weeknd would be real dope too. I'm like I love the Weeknd, you know, as far as like that too. And, you know, really that's about it. Like dream artists.
Yeah. Those are the ones you hang on the wall. Like those are the ones like man, I did that.
That's it. I did that. Yeah, for sure.
See, Breezy though, crazy different. Yeah, you get that, and that's you can put a whole mural up. Like yo, this was us. We did that.
For sure. And you know, like I feel like the way I'm moving, man, and as long as I keep networking, it's gonna happen for me. You know what I mean? And I just know, like it'll happen.
So you know, I want to get into kind of the tour you guys just did, and I want to talk about that in a second. But when you talk about networking in your industry, you know, how does that look? If I was in it and I wanted to kind of get in that, and I wanted to come up in the rap game, what are those things I need to be looking out for? Where do I start? You know, what does networking look like for you guys outside of the obvious, which is, you know, once you meet some guys, you guys are hanging out in the studio, bouncing ideas off, you know. Yeah. But what does the initial phases look like? I mean, where do you got to go? Where do you got to flock? You know, what are those things?
Well, honestly, I feel like when you're an artist, first of all, now you need that. So you need that TikTok, that social media, and you need good beats. I feel like you need good beats at this point in time, and you got to just have a direction of like, okay, this is what I want to do. But as far as just being an artist and like getting a buzz.
You think a lot of it is social media?
I feel like a lot of it is social media, and also either the right producers or just have a fly beat. And if you get a feature with like an artist to, you know, just get spotlight on you. You know what I mean? I feel like that's to me that's the easiest.
It gets you some buzz. It gets your name some buzz.
It's gonna definitely get you some buzz, man. And people like they're gonna say, "Who is this on this song?" Like, you know what I mean? And don't let it sound good.
Yeah. If it sounds good, that's
artist.
crazy. Yeah,
because they're gonna listen. Because that's their favorite artist.
Yeah.
And, you know, like, that's just a way that's my cheat code.
But that makes, for you to get a feature on an artist, and then I'm listening to that artist because that's my guy, and I hear you, and now I get an opportunity to be like, man, I like this. It's no different than a Super Bowl commercial, right? Man. All I'm doing is infiltrating what you were already going to watch or listen to.
I can't wait talking
and advertise.
A Super Bowl commercial.
And did you see, look, this is a whole different conversation. Did you see what money Kanye made?
I want to be able to afford.
Kanye paid $7 million for that Super Bowl commercial he made in his car, and they sold $14 million of merchandise within 12 hours.
Bro, I want to be able to afford a Super Bowl commercial.
That's OD crazy for someone who was like half trying. That's OD crazy. So, but that is kind of what getting a feature on a song is it's, you know, if I listen to, you know, Kevin Gates and then I play a Kevin Gates song and it's featuring T. Jones. You're getting however long that song, your part is 20, 30 seconds, 45 seconds, whatever. You're advertising in that moment.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And you're getting an opportunity to get me to like you now.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
But it has to make sense too. You know what I mean? Because I see some people that get features that just don't make sense. Like.
You mean financially?
Definitely financially. But also, is this artist coming up? Is he already hot? Are people off him? Mm-hmm. Like, you know, if they're not really listening to him.
And does your music you think your music kind of has to mesh a little bit, or you think it's better that it's opposite?
I think it should mesh. I think it should, because you would want to be a similar artist to them.
So you could kind of take some of that demographic.
Take their fans, you always want to do that. Like when you link with an artist, you want to get their fans. You want to make sure you take their fans.
That their fans like, man, I like him too.
Exactly.
I want to listen to him too.
So that's the main thing of my game. Like, but I learned that over time. It didn't happen. You know.
So with your music, you know, did you see it morph? The type of music you make now, is that always what you made? I mean, obviously we talked about that you found your identity, but did the music change when you found your identity? Well,
the quality got better.
Okay.
So it didn't really change. The quality got better, and I got better.
Yeah.
You know, like it was just like certain vibes that I was just like, okay, like, you know, I had to learn it over time though. But I just got better, and my quality got better. I feel like I've been making the same music. My quality just got better.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
which is dope. I mean, obviously your skills are increasing.
And practice.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm gonna say. If you do something over the course of a period of time, your skills are gonna get better.
Man, and I'm still getting better. Like the more I practice, my cousin, he'll call me, "Hey, you go to the studio today?" And I'm like, Nah, I ain't wait, man. Come on, you tripping? Like you supposed to be in the studio, and I'm like, man, I need people like that.
Yeah, and
Like,
with that, with like accountability, I mean, who pushes you most now?
Myself. I push myself the most.
Yeah.
But however, like when it
You
comes,
think you're your hardest critic?
I'm my hardest critic because I know these things already. When somebody tell me, I'm like, bro, you know better. Like let's work. Like let's work. And my cousin though, he's always on me though, just randomly though. Like, hey, you go to the studio?
Are we talking about the same cousin?
Oh no, that's Greg. Don't give. Oh man, Greg is like he's a hard critic on me, but I feel like I'm harder on myself than anybody, and that's how I always been.
And I am too. And I said this to some friends. I think when you're really tough on yourself, and I'm super tough on myself, bro. I mean, some of the stuff I tell myself, my friends and family are like, bro, you got to give yourself a break. And I'm like, but y'all don't see the potential I see in myself. Man. I'm holding myself to a standard of what I know I should be. You guys are holding a standard to who I am and what you see. Y'all don't see what I see. Y'all see me now, but when I look in the mirror, I see who I'm going to become. Yeah. And that's who I'm pushing. That's who I'm grading. That's the person that when I fall short, that may not be so short to who I am, y'all like, bro, it's not that bad. But I'm falling short from who I think I am. And that's a huge gap. And that's why every time I hear and talk to someone who says, man, I'm my toughest critic, I always have the same response. It's because you see the potential that's within you, that you're still working on putting into the world. You're still working on making that come to fruition. And that's such an exciting and it's such a dope, mindset, because it's like it's coming. Like if you can see it and you can push yourself to that, it's inevitable. It's only a matter of time. As long as you can maintain that, as long as you can continue to push yourself, especially if you're competitive, you're not going to let yourself fail your whole freaking life, right? No. It's inevitable that you're going to be that great. You're going to become that GOAT, and that's got to be exciting, right?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
No matter how, many times you do fail, but I ain't gonna keep failing. I'm gonna win.
I'm going to win. I'm not built to.
I'm going to win,
bro. I'm not. I'm gonna win. I'm not built to just fail forever, bro. I mean, I may drop the ball a couple times because I'm human. But you got me messed up if you think I'm just about to fail for 10 years straight, bro.
I love how you said that, though, bro. Like, hey, you got a dope mindset, bro. Like, the way the way you carry yourself, the way you think, the way you said that about how your family, like, they might see you like this, but you see yourself way further and, like, way greater than that. You know what I mean? I love that, bro.
And that's why I'm so hard on myself. That's why most people are so hard on themselves. They just don't know that yet until I say it out loud. They're like, damn, you're right. I didn't think about it that way. And that's what it is, bro. It's you're holding yourself to your potential that you can see already. That's why we're so difficult, and that's why we push ourselves so hard. Because it's like, bro, I got it in me.
Yeah, my thing is like, I don't feel like I'm not gonna be complete until I'm on the stage, and that crowd got the lights out and they singing my song. Like my music career won't be complete until then. It's not about the money. Yeah, it's not about the money. It's more so about when they singing my song in that crowd, bro, while I'm on stage,
and you just get to watch it.
When I know my mission is complete with music. Yeah. And I'm good. I'm gonna keep working. Obviously, I'm gonna keep grinding.
Of course, but that's how you know. But
my goal is checked off. Like
I built it.
That's one of my goals.
I'm telling you, what's gonna happen is when that comes, we're gonna create a reel where we snip that right. You saying that, and then we're gonna catch you on stage, and they're gonna be singing, and you're gonna be staring out there.
Yeah, that's gonna be dope.
And I'm gonna be like, man, I remember when he said that shit.
No, that's gonna be dope.
And that's the proclamation, right? So talk to me about kind of what. Your weekly routine is, right? I want to get into kind of the modern life and kind of what you got going on with the music industry and obviously with the real estate. I'm going to get into some more specific questions with that. But how do you determine what you're doing with your time? How do you determine how your week looks? How do you determine, when your studio time is? How do you determine, how you're planning yourself?
Yeah, so when it comes to that, I wake up in the morning, I make up my bed. Now I got this thing. My room it just has to be clean in a certain, like man, I have to clean up everything. Or it's just not going to go right for me, you know? So I have to clean it up. It gives me a clear headspace, right? I try to hit the gym about 3 to 4 times a week. I eat fruit in the morning. That's what I do. I don't eat all day. I just try to eat fruit in the morning, hydrate a little bit. Studio-wise, I go to the studio about 7, 8 p.m. I stay until about 2.
You feel like you work better at night like that?
I work better at night, I feel like. But sometimes, I wouldn't mind, like, my engineer just kicking it at the crib. We record at my house. Sometimes we do that. But as far as, like, we record from 2 to 3 times a week, though, at night, though.
Why do you feel like you record best at night? Because isn't less distractions?
I'm just
or
so busy during the day. Like I might have to drive to Tyler to check on my contractors. Like I try to check on them one time a week, sometime twice, because I have been getting my house remodeled for about 3-4 months.
Mm-hmm.
So I have to check on them. So I got to drive to Tyler in the morning times, and sometimes I'm coming right back to the studio at night. So I just try to manage my time to get me like a little break when I get back to Dallas. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So I don't be in the studio just there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
just there to say you was there.
Yeah, because I've had times like that to where like I book a studio session and I'm really tired, and it's just like I really didn't get. I wasn't really like proactive. And
you didn't max it out,
and I wasted money. And I'm like, I hate wasting money. You know what I mean? So it's just like I want to go in there and give it the best I can. Because I got to keep practicing. I got to keep. That's what's going to get me where I'm trying to go. Yeah. Giving it my full potential. Like, so other than that, obviously I FaceTime my siblings, or I chill. I try to give me a little chill time in, but man, I'm always working. Yeah. I'm always working, and on the weekends is probably when I get to chill, like get to lay back. But you see, we on the podcast
on a Sunday.
On a Sunday, so
morning,
it's just like
I'm
gonna grind, bro. Like if it makes sense, I'm like, I'm there. He said 10 a.m. All right, we there. We might be 7 minutes late, but we there.
So, 7 minutes not bad, man. It's a high rise, bro. We got elevators and all types of stuff.
But I gotta take. You know what I mean? I try to take everybody's time serious too. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? And that's how I've been trying to operate now. Because like when somebody late and I'm telling them this time, like, damn, if it was Drake, your ass would have been there an hour early.
Facts. Yeah, if it was Drake.
And so I'm just like, but I have to take that in consideration.
You got to carry yourself that way.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what is work-life balance look for you? Because obviously we talked about how you fill your schedule and you push yourself, and we're very similar. I got to go. It's kind of what I brought up earlier, man. I got to take advantage of these years, and I got to go to the max. So I'm fully booked up. But what does a work-life balance look like for you? Is that something that is important to you? Is it not? How do you balance it? What does personal life look like?
No, it's real important to me. Like, I try to manage my dating life in there somehow. I always try to figure that out because I got to enjoy myself. But also, my work life, I'm always running to the banks. I'm always trying to make sure everything is going right at the bank. Like, all right, I might be working on a loan, and that shit is exhausting. I'm trying to get exactly what you're saying, but basically,
like, how do you refill your cup? That's another way I ask it, right? Because work is taking it from you. It's taking your energy. And you're exerting energy. How do you put it back? I mean, what are those things that help you? Because you're busy. And here's the thing: when I ask people that are not busy, and I want to call a spade. When I have certain lazy people, how does your work-life balance look like? They're like, well, I get off at 5 and I go fucking watch TV. And that's their work-life balance. But with people like us, we're so on the max that sometimes I'm like, yo, how do you refill your cup? Because you can't pour from an empty cup. What do you do a week, and how do you force it in, or how does it naturally come in where you can say, these things recharge me. Like, these things, they don't take my energy, they give some back.
Yeah. So that's what I would say. The way I recharge, me and my bro might go to dinner. I might actually get 8 hours of rest that night. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm recharged, but I'm back working the next day. Like, I'm always working, brother. Like, I be feeling like when I go take a little vacation, I rest. I might work 3 months. You know what I'm saying? 3 months in. But honestly, I feel like this will recharge me too. I'm always on the road. I'm always going to go do a video shoot. I just left Dominican Republic and I did a video shoot there. Honestly, I was working, but that recharged me. I'm about to take a trip. So that's what recharged me when I'm moving around.
With vacations, and I'm going to talk to you about that trip because I know that was a lot of work involved. So let's not bring that one just yet. But with vacations, how do you plan them? Do you plan them? Do they just pop up? Because what it sounds like to me is, and there are a lot of people like this, and I used to be this way, and I only changed because I wanted to be more now, but I used to be the same way. I used to grind for months, and then I would take a 2-week vacation. And knowing that I had a week or a 2 week, or I went out somewhere for a weekend and I didn't have to do any work, it gave me enough juice to go 3 more months, 4 more months, just hard. You know what I mean? And now I like to be like, okay, I'm going to go 5 days hard, take 1 day of fun, and then 1 day of workouts and routine and all that, and then go 5 days hard. Gotcha. So I've seen both sides of things, and I'm not saying one is better than the other. I kind of like the other one better because one day is not the same as, you know, going to freaking Miami for a week, you know.
Right. So I just got more organized with that, like with the planning the trips, planning my skills. Like, we're gonna do this video here, we're gonna do this, because it's usually in the heat of the moment. Like, hey, tomorrow we shooting this, and I don't mind that. It's just not as organized as it would be if we plan this out. So now I'm more so like, hey, I'm gonna take this trip next week on this day, or 2 weeks on this day. But usually it was like in the heat of the moment sometime. But now I'm like
starting to change the way you do it.
Yeah, dealing with my camera guy E. He wanted that also, and he's seen that it would help us. Like, hey man, if we kind of had this on schedule a little better, it's gonna help him. You know what I mean? He got his own thing going on. It's gonna help me. It's gonna help my.
Wonder where he got that from, man.
Man, for real. Hey, I don't know where he got it from, man. But hey, I liked it, and I'm just like, man, you know what? I like that. So, you know, I'm like, he's younger than me, but I love just learning from different people too. So it's just like, that's what it is for me now. Like, man, I kind of want to be a little more organized. I don't feel like I'm bad, but I feel like it could be better.
Yeah, and to me that was, and I talked about this in my episode, which comes out a week after yours, where it's my story and I'm sitting over there. But I talked about the same thing. I wanted to be that. And this was part of kind of my realization that, man, this is my prime. I knew I was, and this is my honest belief, and I think you're very similar, because we're both innate hustlers. We've got a very, very different situation, but a very similar upbringing. Yeah. You know what I mean? And I know I can hustle through anything. I can hustle through a whole week and be super productive in that week. But I asked myself, could I be more effective if I was organized? Like, and I mean organized to a T. Like, you know, obviously these guys can't see because of the cameras, but my schedule's posted on the wall live. You know, I know where I'm going to be tomorrow at 2:00. You could call me and be like, Kev, let's grab lunch, and I'll tell you I can do it Wednesday at 3. You know what I mean? And I force myself to have as much as physically possible, because I know if it's on the cal, I'll do it. Now, if I'm winging it, I'm going to do my best, but I may call you back and be like, man, I don't know if I have time today, because I'm winging it. But if you tell me, Kev, let's grab lunch Wednesday at 3, and on Sunday I put it on my calendar for Wednesday at 3, it don't matter how tired I am. It's on my calendar for Wednesday at 3. and I know myself. I know that I could wake up feeling like dog crap. But if there's 12 things on my calendar, it's whatever it takes. I got to get that shit done. So
that's what's up.
I wanted to become someone like that, because I saw people like that, and I saw how effective they were, and how instead of it being like, man, you got to be so talented that you could wing through these 27 things on your to-do list, you just got to be someone who can execute. You just got to be someone who says, these are the tasks, this is the mission. Can you do it, yes or no? And I knew I could be a mission-oriented person.
So, yeah, I just started that. As far as, like, when it comes to the podcast and just, okay, man, I know you don't want to get into certain stuff, but, okay, just say, like, a record. Like, I'm like, hey, I'm going to drop this record soon. So I need to go make sure I jot down all these podcasts I want to go to, and the certain dates and certain this, so like I can say, hey, I gave it my all when it comes to promo.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So now I got a whiteboard, and I got dates by different podcasts. I'm just checking them off as I go.
Yeah.
But I've never done that. So this is something new for me.
That you're learning
that
as
I'm
you
learning
go,
to do. Yeah. So
how's your team built? I mean, obviously I know you got a team now, you know, you got E who's with you, and he does some planning for you. I mean, how did you build your team? You know, how did you know you needed a team? I mean, because that obviously is a big part of kind of how you operate.
Right. You know, if you don't build a team, you're just going to always have to be around new people. You're going to always have to be hiring.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? As you go. And, you know, that's cool if that's how you want to do it. But I like to have somebody that, like, I already have chemistry with. To me, chemistry is everything for me, like, when I deal with people. Because I don't like to, you know, I want to make sure you're comfortable. Like, I'm comfortable. Like, you know what I mean? And that's one thing. But Greg, he's always been there. Greg is, man, he's special. Like, you know what I mean? Like, far as just the work he has put in over the years for me. And I have Chris. Chris does all my.
And Greg's kind of like your manager.
Yeah, he's like my manager, but he have played so many different roles.
Yeah. He's put on a lot of hats.
He has,
especially when there was times where it was just you two.
Man, so I have another guy named Chris. He does all like my legal work for us, like when I upload and you know, to all these platforms.
Yeah, all the copyright infringement.
Yeah, so he does all that for me, and honestly, that's my team. Like, that's really. Oh, and I got an attorney. I have an attorney.
Yeah.
We're the same age. We grew up in the same city.
What made you know you needed an attorney? Did something happen, or you just were proactive?
So, man, I did a song with an artist, and he was a very big artist, and my song never got cleared. And I was like, bro, I paid you money to, you know what I'm saying, do
Yeah.
the song, and I never made my money back off of it. And, you know, in this business, when I do a song with an artist, I'm not doing it to look cool. I'm doing it to
get my money back.
To get
It's
my
an
money
investment.
back, and
to gain,
build,
and to grow following,
and to grow from it, you know. And so it's just like I went through that. I didn't like that, man, you know, and it was like a slap in the face, you know what I mean? So I'm just like, I can't let that happen no more.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm like, I'm gonna get an attorney. Luckily, it was somebody that I grew up with, you know what I mean? And he has a great story too, like, cause for him to like become an attorney was like, wow, like, you know, like, you from the hood, like, you know
from Tyler too?
He from Tyler.
What's his name?
Tedrick Hawkins.
Tedrick, we need you on.
Man, yeah, man. He just moved back to Dallas, man. So he's in a law firm out here, you know. So
nice.
It's just, I'm gonna definitely introduce y'all, man. And you know, his story is crazy, you know, for him to be able to like to be doing what he's doing now, man. So I was happy to start working with him, man. You know, just to like see, you know, another brother just like doing his thing. So that was dope, man.
Yeah, it is dope, especially back from where we come from, and you know, and this is something that, you know, obviously not everyone in the room can hit, but we can. I mean, just seeing people like us, that shit's dope to me.
Man, it's dope.
It's super dope when I go to places and I get in the rooms and I start to see people like us prospering, and it's one of those vibes where it's like, man, it's for the culture. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure.
And then obviously now I know you've got E, you know, with media, and he's doing your media. And how did you know you even needed a media guy? What was that decision like?
Well, if I'm working every day, this gotta be on like camera, like, cause like I was doing so much stuff and it wasn't getting documented. You know what I mean? Just like, yeah.
But hang on, that sounds simple to you, but like I said, there's fucking everybody working every day. Not what made you know that, man, I need to put this shit on camera.
My moments wasn't captured.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I might be in a room and it just really happened. I'm in the room with Chris Brown. I'm about to get ready to go meet Chris Brown, and I didn't tell nobody this. Like, you know what I mean?
Like,
so
damn.
I'm coming back like I you know, nobody knows.
wasted that shit.
Nobody knows.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, and what I do, like, I'm an artist, so it's just like, people want to know about your life. They want to know what you're doing every day. So you have to document your life. Like, people want to feel like they know you.
Yeah.
Like, they want to feel like they hanging with you. So it's just like, let me document my life. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm doing this for a reason. I'm not trying to be closed in and be just so private. That's why I used to move. I used to be so private to where, like, I wasn't gaining.
Yeah.
Like, and you know, I had an old engineer named Man. He was like, man, you move like the president. And I'm like, you know, I'm like, what?
Yeah.
But also, I wasn't living right for real.
Yeah,
so it's just like,
you had some shadows. You had
exactly.
you had to be in the shadows.
Exactly, bro. So it's just like, now that I feel like, you know, I'm living way better, and I know I really want to do this music for real. It's my passion.
And
I'm
you're on the up and up.
100%.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I have to document this. We got to put this out. You know, I paid my dues. I paid my debt to society on what I had to do.
Yeah,
now we clear. We good. Let's rock.
Yeah. Now it's a new chapter. New chapter.
Yeah, man.
So this trip you guys took, I saw y'all were in the DR. I saw y'all boys was everywhere. Y'all was outside.
Man,
for sure.
Oh, Lord.
Man, how would that go? How did that go? How did that come into fruition? You know, what went down?
Okay, first of all, from the first time I went to DR, networking, I saw a guy in the club, like, he looked cool. You know what I mean? I just spoke to him like, hey, man, you know what's going on, yada, yada, yada. And he just gave me his information. So I didn't know he didn't speak English, right? So we had a translator, which he helped out a lot as much as he could. So
yeah, that ain't Mexican Spanish,
right? He ended up being a label owner out there, so he had
damn, that's crazy
he had
coincidence.
the biggest artist under him. The biggest artist in DR was like named Rachi. He's under him. Like,
damn.
So it was just crazy, man. So
and you met him just randomly in a club.
Random in a club. I went to the club because I'm like, hey, I just want to get out. I want to get out a little bit tonight, you know. And,
when was that?
That was in probably November of 2023.
But you had already paid plenty of dues by then.
Oh, yeah.
The reason I say that, and I want to just do a quick pause, you know, there's so many guys who are working and they're paying their dues, and they feel like it's not fair and they're not getting the success they need. And I'm a firm believer of this. You can't cheat the grind. It's impossible to cheat the grind. You can't skip steps. It doesn't work that way. The grind does not pay, you know, a bill. It pays invoices.
Yeah.
A bill gets paid before the work gets done. The grind don't work that way. The grind pays invoices. The grind is going to pay you when the work is finished. And that's the toughest part, is you have to be willing in whatever you do to pay your dues, knowing that you may not get that check until you're finished. And to me, it's always those little. I mean, I've had great conversations with some hyper successful people such as yourself, and it's always this thing that I'm like, damn, that's a coincidence. And then your mind kind of kicks in like, that shit ain't no coincidence, bro. I paid dues for that door to open up. And it's always some random stuff where it's like, man, I worked my butt off for years and years and years. And I just met this dude in a club. And he just happened to be, you know, had a label with the biggest artist. Bro, that was not a coincidence. That was the grind. That was the world. That was the universe paying back the dues that you had put in for years and years. You know what I'm saying? And that shit's dope to see that you got due dividends.
Man, you know, that's another thing that makes me keep going. Like, that's just like, hey, keep going. It's a push every time. Every time something like that happens, it's a push. Meeting you today, talking to you, hearing, like, you know what I'm saying, hearing like some of your like story. Yeah. It's a push. I like that, man. Like, and it just keep me going, man. It's like, it's more fuel. It's more fuel. It's just like, keep going. And, you know.
So you hit him up when you were coming back this time or what?
So, yeah, we had been just reaching out to each other throughout the process. That was like.
You on Google Translate or what?
Man, like, for real. Hey, for real. And he even be helping me out. Yeah. So, man, he like, hey, when you come back, you know, we going to work. I'm going to get you around some different artists. So I got back out there, you know, expecting that. So we like, man, you know, like, we out here 3 days. Like, you know, but we still working. We like, hey, you know, if he hit us up, that's cool. If he don't, we going to keep working. We're going to keep getting
take the best of it.
Yeah, we're going to keep doing our content and everything like that. So, man, on the last day, he like, man, just text him again. I'm like, man, I don't want to be texting nobody again. He like, bro, I said, you know what? All right. Hey, what's going on? Oh, yeah, bro. I was like, hey, I want to shoot a video in your neighborhood. He like, nah, link up with one of my artists. We finna come pick you up.
For real?
Man. I was like, wow. So,
well, how long was the trip? What, 4 or 5 days?
Yeah, it was 4 or 5. Yeah, about 5 days.
And it's the last day, and you were just like, fucking Hail Mary.
Bro. Yeah. So
and he said, we about to pick you up.
Yeah, we about to come pick y'all up. Man, these people pulled up in a bulletproof truck. We like, what the heck? Like, you know what I'm saying? We like, what? So, you know, I hire security everywhere I go. Just be like, especially in a, you know,
especially in a foreign country.
You got to have it. You know what I mean? It's not that expensive for real, compared to the
out
States.
Here,
So, man, they picked me up, man, and we went to the studio. Man, it was just a high because we like, man, this is really going on. Like, and you know, like they put you in a bulletproof truck. I ain't never been in no bulletproof truck. You feel me? So
I ain't never been in a bulletproof truck.
Man, you feel me? So I'm just like, man, it's different. You know what I mean? Like, you know, like listening to the Dominican music, you know, I'm like, it's kind of jamming. You know what I mean? It's a real blacked out truck. So I'm trying to paint the picture. It's a real just blacked out. It looked nighttime outside at this point.
Yeah.
So I'm like, damn, like they zooming, bro. In DR, they drive crazy compared to us. Like, they driving fast and man, everybody doing what they want to do.
Yeah. I was I think it was around the same time. I was in Peru, and one of my boys was like, look, man, this ain't the States, bro. Pedestrians do not take precedence over cars. Man. He was like, if you walk in the street, they will run your ass over.
Bro.
And that shit is not a game.
When I seen somebody out there laid out, bro. It
For real?
was crazy, bro.
Yeah,
no phones, though. Nobody was recording it. They was, like, mourning the person, like. And I was like, bro, this is different than the States. Yeah. But, yeah, man, we went to the studio, man. We did the song. No, first of all, the artist was, like, they played the song. They made the beat on point. Like right there, they made the beat. They called a producer, and he just started making the beat.
Right in front of you.
Right in front of us.
These fools cold, huh?
And, yeah, and my bros, they looking at me like, I don't know how you about to do this, bro.
Because it's different.
It's way different. They looking at me like,
you got this?
Yeah, and I'm over here like, I'm trying not to be too nervous. Like, so I'm just shaking it up. Like, I got it. You know, I'm telling myself I got it. Not sure if I got it.
How many people painted for him? How many people here?
It was about eight of us. It was, first of all, it was about 6 or 8 people, 6, 7, 8 or 8 people. And, you know, it was me, my bro, E, and the security. That's just us.
So it's probably like 12 people.
Yeah, it was a lot. It was a lot of people.
And they all looking at you like, you got this or what?
Yeah. So, man, he started getting on there and doing his thing. And I'm just like, bro, I don't know what. Like, you know, but I was like, man, I got it. You know, I got this. Bro, I figured it out. And the way, everybody, after they heard it, like, they in the studio just rocking with me. So I'm like, oh, I'm good. You know what I mean? Yeah. And so he was telling me what he was translating for me, like, oh, yeah, he likes it. And I'm like, we good. Nothing to worry about. Yeah. And they shot that same video. We shot the video the same night. Like, they were on it. Like,
so y'all made it in the studio.
Shot it the same
Left
night.
the studio and went to go shoot it.
Like, man, he pulled up to his neighborhood. Cameras was already out. The scene was already set up. People were already there. I'm like, man, the way they move.
Wait. How they
exactly.
They was teeing it up via text, or
I guess so. Yeah, he called like he just set all this up. I'm like, man, this dude got some power.
Damn, that's crazy.
Man, I'm like, he got some power.
I seen he put some snippets of what was going down, and it was a crowd. It wasn't like two people out there. I mean, it was motion.
I'm ready for people to see that vlog.
When does that come out?
Probably in about 2 weeks. About 2 weeks.
Is the song out?
The song out.
The song out.
The song is out.
What's the name? How do we find the song?
You go to YouTube and you type in hey man, don't judge me. I don't even know how to say what they said. They call it Trulio or something like that. Trulio.
Trulio.
You gotta just type it. T Jones.
T Jones.
And Meloso. They'll see it.
Meloso.
It's like it got like 600,000 views on YouTube right now.
And Trulio. Y'all go look up Trulio.
Man, I was just surprised. I'm still like, dang, like we really did that, you know?
Yeah.
That was dope.
That's a dope moment. It's a surreal moment.
Man, that's another push right there that I'm telling you about, those push.
Yeah, those constant fuels, man. So I want to kind of get into the real estate game before we get out of here. You know, obviously we talked about your first property, you know, before you did, you know, your bid. And then, you know, obviously how did that transcribe into what's now going on? You know, obviously we dived a lot into your artist background and your artist career. I mean, how did the real estate come into fruition? What does it look like now? And, you know, kind of tell me that story.
So what it look like now, I recently had grabbed another home and I remodeled it.
What happened to the one that we talked about before?
I'll still have it.
Okay.
I just now put it on the market. I rented it for a while.
You long-term leased it?
Yeah, but
okay.
I don't like renting.
It's a different game.
It's a different game. So when I do it, when I finally actually rent a home, it's going to be something that has more value. That it's actually worth doing it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Because the property and the value of the property is going to translate into the value and the income of the renter.
Right.
And the higher and lower it is, you know, presents different challenges and different things, right? Because, you know, and again, I'm also talking to guys who maybe want to get into the rental game and the real estate game. When you have, you know, lower cost properties, I mean, look, man, the dude bought the house for $5,000. You know, that's fucking crazy. But when you have some of those lower properties, you're going to get some lower income, you know, tenants, and those present a whole different level of problems.
Right.
You know, a whole different level of problems versus if you were going to buy, you know, $150,000, $200,000, $300,000 homes, especially if you were talking new construction where it's like, okay, I just need to find a tenant who's probably at that value. He's probably going to be making some decent money. He's probably going to be a family person. He's going to take care of the property a lot more. There's going to be less, you know, challenges. And it's easier to do long-term rentals on newer, more valued houses.
Right. And so now, you know, I upgraded. Like this time, I'm like, hey, you know, that was a 2-bedroom, 1-bath. Excuse me. This time, I grabbed a 3-bedroom, 2-bath. So it was it's way better. Like, you know, so. And that's not where I'm going to stop, though. I'm going to keep going up. And
So the second property that you did, you're flipping to sell or you're flipping to lease?
I'm flipping to sell.
Okay. How did you find the property? Did it just come across the door?
No,
or?
It was a guy I've been knowing for years. And I even was talking to him while I was inside. Like, I had on the computer, like, you know, I used to just be like, hey, man, when I get out, you know, I want to work with you. And his name is Nick. He's a wholesaler.
Okay.
So when I got out, me and Nick, we linked up. He had properties. And, you know, over time, I end up being able to grab a property from him. He just, you know, so I grabbed the property through Nick, through this one title company, Victoria. She's a sweet lady. She helped me out. So I grabbed it through Nick.
Mm-hmm.
He found the property, and then, you know, I remodeled it, and now it's on the market. Like, I'm about to get ready to sell it.
It just finished, huh? You just finished it?
Just finished it, man.
Like how long ago? Last week?
Yeah, probably about.
How long did it take for the rehab?
Took a little longer than it should, but it took 4 months. But it was supposed to be 90 days, you know. But hey, things happen.
Construction industry, bro. It's a million things
happen, man. So it's just, you know, hey, I'm thankful it got done. And now I'm about to do my first new build. I've never done this before, so I'm gonna definitely record the whole process because this is definitely gonna be something new for me. But I love challenges, man, and you know it's something positive. So. But in the future, I definitely would like to have like duplexes, you know, a nice apartment complex. That's what I see.
Yeah.
And I don't know how to get there just yet.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna
the commercial real estate game is definitely a much bigger pie, and it definitely presents a lot different, you know, hurdles and roadblocks to get over. But the fruits of that labor are so much better.
Man, I can't wait.
Yeah. You know, I'm excited. I'm excited for you. You know, so when it comes down to the real estate, how much time, you know, obviously with what you got going on, you got a couple properties, you're talking about the construction and then the different rehabs that you're driving out to Tyler, you know, to manage and oversee. And now you're getting ready to GC your own build. how much time out of, because again, this is a side and supplemental income for you. This isn't your primary, plan. This isn't your primary, day to day. How much time does that take a week out of your life?
So now I've stopped watching YouTube videos and like, try to get like different concepts of, certain videos. Now I'm like, man, you know what? Let me put more time into seeing certain homes and to learn the stuff that I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So I go on YouTube and that'd be my little class for about 2 hours. You know what I mean? I do that for sure 4 times out the week. I'm on YouTube watching different videos at night. Like, it could be late, man. I could be tired. I could be sleepy, but that's what I'm gonna go to sleep to.
Yeah.
Learning just more stuff about real estate, and I felt like that's the only way I was gonna get better. But the chick told me I needed to start doing that too. She was like, hey, like, you need to get more education. Like, that's the only way. And, hearing it from somebody is just like, what? But I'm like, she's right.
Yeah.
I have to do this.
Yeah.
That's why I'm able to. That's where I am now. That's why I'm able to do this now. It just be, just education.
Man, the craziest thing is, and I've said this, and it just goes over a lot of ears, and it goes over a lot of heads. Man, we are so blessed as a generation of humanity. Obviously, we've got our problems, right? But, bro, information, general information and knowledge, specific instructions, game plans, the way to do it, the processes, the procedures. There is so much literally free information and content and learning out there in all types of channels, especially YouTube. And if you go back 2 generations ago, like our grandparents, bro, the only way you were going to know this stuff is if you knew somebody who did it and they weren't going to tell you because they were gatekeeping the success, or if you went to a 4-year, 5-year, 6-year, 7-year college for it. And it's like literally people are like, man, I want to change my life. I want to do this. I want to get into that. And it's like, bro, do you know if you do? Because I did exactly what you did, which is when I got home from work and finished everything that I was supposed to do, at 9, 10, 11, 1 in the morning, I'm just watching videos on how to get good at these things, right. And that's why I say I love that we relate on a lot of different, aspects. When I wanted to roll out this podcast, I remember E and I were working together, and I was a madman, bro, for like 2 months, just watching podcasts at freaking 3 in the morning. And I'm telling you, bro, I had a notebook, and I was writing down and learning how to control conversations. How to run a podcast, not just like how to fucking set up cameras and shit, but like how to host a podcast and have the skill set to control the dialogue. And it's like, bro, if I didn't live in this generation, I lived 2 generations ago. There's no way I would have learned that.
Yeah,
you just didn't have it, and then it's like, fuck, woe is me, this sucks. And it's like, bro, you can literally figure out or at least get a starting point to anything in the world if you just want it bad enough.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
No doubt.
And that's dope that you kind of were like, look, man, I watch videos and I got a good grasp on it. And it's crazy that, a chick probably on some pillow talk had to tell you that, right?
Nah, man. Well, she actually, man, I'm going to be honest with you. She inspired me to go harder, like, far as, because she's going hard.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Her house, about $900K, like, you know what I'm saying? So, I'm inspired, like, you know what I mean? So, and, I give people gems, as I go too. But when somebody give me something, bro, and it makes sense, and I know it could benefit my life, I'm gonna take it.
Yeah.
Because, shit, like, you know what I mean? Like, that's what's gonna keep pushing you. So, like, anybody inspired me to go harder, man, I thank them. Like, you know what I mean? Thank you. You know what I mean? Like, shit, meeting you today, like seeing you today again, obviously. But it's just like, bro, thank you. You know what I mean? I'm gonna go harder. Like, I gotta get there because I want somebody when they run into me, like, man, I want them to be motivated. Like, man, I can do this. Like, no matter what, whoever told me back then, like, hey, T. Jones, he doing it, I can do it.
Yeah.
And I tell everybody, that's like one of my things. Though. You can do it too.
Yeah.
You ain't got to hate. You don't have to look down on yourself. You can do it too, man. No matter your situation, like, you can do it.
That's dope. And I saw you put that on your new Instagram for your property flips. So, we end every episode with some rapid fire questions just to kind of, see where you're at, and they're going to be pretty random. So you ready?
Oh shit!
Yeah, it's some rapid fire, man. You got to be ready for this.
All right, let's do it.
Okay, all right. So first question, would you rather live in the mountains or on a beach?
On a beach.
On a beach, why?
The water. I love water.
Water's dope to you? Okay. Dream car. Money's no factor.
Yours. Lambo.
Really? That's the dream car?
That's the dream car, bro. And I seen that. I seen you.
Yeah.
I was like, damn.
Yeah.
So
No, it's crazy because I was man, and I'm trying not to convince. I'm one of those dudes when I start looking stuff up, it's a wrap. I got to do it. But I've been strongly considering getting one like now, and trading in my 2 cars for the one because it works. And I'm like trying not to do that because I just bought these freaking cars,
right.
And I don't want to just now come off them. I only had them for like 6 months, but man, I my buddy has got a Urus in it, and I drove it for the first time for the Drake concert.
Yeah.
And I was always like, man, it looks all right. You know what I mean? And when you drive it, it's like, oh, this shit is sick.
I haven't drove one yet.
It's sick, bro, and it's a dope car. Okay, so where in the world would you live if you were done? You're retired, you've hung it up, you've accomplished what you wanted to accomplish. Now you're just going to just enjoy the rest of your years. Where in the world would it be?
Probably be Ghana.
Why?
First of all, the real estate out there is pretty dope. Africa, I wouldn't mind just being out there. You know, like I probably would want to like live back and forth though. Probably not full time.
Yeah. But that would be the home base. I mean, you could still travel, but that's the home base.
Ghana though.
Okay. If you could be any animal in the world, what would it be?
Oh Lord, animal. Who ain't getting hunted like that? Probably like a lion. Shit.
Everybody
like
getting hunted, bro.
Man, probably a lion.
A lion? Man, I'm gonna tell you, I've asked this to a lot of people. I think I want to fly, bro. I want to be like a falcon or some shit. You know what I mean? Like, because I don't think anybody running around killing like. I don't think there's any other birds out here killing falcons. Because I also don't want to be like a little bird and I'm just flying, loving life, and then I just get fucking ate up in the middle of the air.
Right.
You know what I mean? But I feel like I want to fly.
You think eagles getting hunted?
I don't think eagles getting hunted like that.
Probably an eagle.
You know what I mean? And I'm surprised you didn't say something that swim if you like water. But I just want to fly, man. I feel like flying got to be a dope thing.
Yeah.
You could have one superpower. What would it be?
Superpower. Oh shit. Probably to like run like really fast.
You would want to run fast?
Yeah, just like really, really fast.
Why?
I don't know. Shit, I just fucking get wherever I want to, like in a step of a finger.
Yeah, you could just pop up. You ain't got to buy no more flights, right? I mean, but what happens when you got to get overseas, bro?
Man, I'm gone.
I mean, but imagine you got to get to Ghana. Now you got to get on a flight to then land to then run. You could have just picked flying, bro.
Yeah, you're right.
You could have just picked flying. You got to get on a plane. You the Flash, and you got to get on a plane and sit next to these regular people.
Hey, you asking so fast, man. I don't want.
It's rapid fire, bro. That's the game we play.
No, for real. I see. She rapid.
All right.
But you're right, though. Flying probably would.
Favorite candy, chocolate and non-chocolate?
Snickers, non-chocolate, Gushers.
Gushers are good. I don't know if I would say Snickers. I could fuck with. I fuck with Snickers.
Yeah, it ain't good for us anyway.
Nah, no candy's good for. No American candy's good for us.
Yeah.
Favorite liquid beverage? Any beverage in the world?
Liquid beverage, cranberry juice. I love cranberry juice.
Really?
Yeah, just love it.
Man, that's weird. I've never heard.
I
like cranberry juice, but I've never heard anyone say like of all the beverages on the planet, cranberry juice. That's a little crazy right there. Okay, all right. And then, Chris Brown's not included. Obviously, you told us that. But if you had a perfect day and a concert was involved, how does that day look? Where'd you wake up? How did it go? Who did you perform with? What'd the after party look like? What is that perfect day for T. Jones?
Man, perfect day. I'm gonna be in L.A. I love L.A. I know it might be basic to some people, but the views are unmatched. I'm gonna wake up in the hills.
Okay.
I'm gonna wake up in the hills. Window to see, like high ceilings,
yep.
view of the city. Man, who I'm gonna perform with?
And you got to give me one you haven't given me already. We know this is your pinnacle. I made it, but give me the perfect day for T. Jones without those people.
I got you. So yeah, I'm gonna wake up, with my team.
Who's all there? Is everybody there? Is it just you?
My camera crew, my main folks. Greg, my brother.
The squad who been there.
Squad. Yeah, I know my sister. They gonna be there. We're gonna get a chef. The chef gonna cook.
Okay, so y'all cooking in the house. Y'all not going out.
Nah,
okay.
we in the house. I love the in the house vibe.
So we having breakfast. What's for breakfast?
We're gonna have the waffles. I love the red velvet waffles. For the meat, like of course I would like to do like turkey bacon.
Okay.
I don't really like pork. Some nice, eggs, scrambled eggs. Some
like
simple.
a traditional breakfast.
Yeah,
okay.
Nothing too much. we're gonna get the fits, we're gonna get the clothes right. You know, I come prepared. I don't really be shopping too much. Like I always come prepared.
Yeah.
Like, you know, so. Honestly, the house vibe's going to be it. We're going to chill and kick back at the house. We're going to start getting ready for the show, obviously about 7, depending on what time the show is.
Okay, what we drinking in the pregame?
Oh, man, honestly, we're going to have the Azul or the Don Julio Reposado.
Okay.
You know, that's just me. That's my choice. Got to call some vibes through, you know. You know, it's a few ladies, you know, cool ladies, chill, you know.
Chill vibes.
Can't be friends, it don't matter. But, yeah.
What we listening to pregame?
We listen to a little mix of R&B. It ain't got to be just too hard. You know what I mean? It can be just some like Brent Fayez, you know.
Like a chill vibe, like a real vibes.
Real okay. Chill. Yeah, like just real good.
So we're not turned up. We chilling, hanging out.
Yeah, we vibing.
Kick back.
We kick back. And that's what I like. I don't really like to go to the club like that. I like to really like vibe and chill with my folks like inside. You know, I just did that recently for my birthday. But anyway, everybody gonna get ready. You know what I'm saying? We doing the photo shoot thing. E-vlogging, like I gotta capture the moment of everything I do.
Yeah.
So that's one thing we doing. And who I'm performing with, man, it's gonna be Future.
Okay, I like that.
I gotta perform with Future, man, and yeah, I got to, man. You know, it's gonna be Future.
And then concert's over. What the after party look like? We going back to the house? We going out? We going to dinner? Where we going?
We definitely gotta do a dinner. That's just that's another little vibey thing. We gonna do a dinner. Man, if we go out, it's gonna be for like a split second. I'm talking
just
about
a pop out,
30 seconds. Yeah, to pop out.
Just a pop out, show our face.
Go back to the crib, man. We vibing. We back chilling at the crib, pool. You know what I'm saying? We swimming. We just having a good time. You know what I'm saying? You know, we got the security there to make sure everything is
everything
cool,
tight, buckled down.
I mean? And man, that's it. That's today. That's tonight.
That's the perfect day.
That's the perfect day for me.
All right. And now I think the rest of our time is devoted to going out and creating that and making that happen, right? Because the perfect day has got to be a dream that we attain.
Most definitely.
Well, T. Jones, man, I appreciate you being on. You know, tell us really quickly where we could find you. Tell us how we could find your music. You know, give us an opportunity to kind of get to you. Yeah,
you can find all my music, you know, on YouTube. You just type in T Jones, and you know, on every social media platform it's T Jones _GME. On Apple Music, it's T Jones. Spotify, T Jones. Tidal, T Jones. SoundCloud, T Jones. So yeah, man, look me up. Subscribe to my YouTube channel too. You know what I mean? And you know, hope y'all like it. You know, become a supporter, a fan. You know, whatever you want to call it.
All right, man. Well, we appreciate you guys being on. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.